In my previous video, I introduced you to the very simple formula that I use to get over 33,000 sales in my Etsy print-on-demand shop. And if you didn't catch that video, you can watch it here as it's the first one in a new series I'm doing called How to Get Your First 100 Sales on Etsy. So that formula was called the Person Plus Moment Formula, the person being who is this product or this gift for, and the moment being what occasion, event, or milestone moment would this product be given to that person. And through my time coaching, I will get so many comments from students that say, okay, Emily, totally get it. I understand what I'm supposed to do with this formula, but how do we actually figure out what to sell? Hi there, my name is Emily, and I am a top 1% Etsy print-on-demand seller, and most importantly, a mom of 2 young kiddos, and I love helping others start, grow, and scale their Etsy print-on-demand shops in a way that doesn't feel stressful or overwhelming. I started this print-on-demand journey with 0 design experience and 0 business experience, and have developed really simple strategies to help other people like me find the same success. So today's video is going to be part 2 of the How to Get Your First 100 Sales on Etsy series, and I'm going to be diving into the research and SEO process to help you figure out what to even sell to begin with and how to get your products found. I will be walking you through my exact research process, the one that has helped me generate over $800,000 in sales on Etsy in 3 years. So that way you can find winning person plus moment formula products that you can start selling in your Etsy shop right now. And make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to be showing you the one Everbee feature that I attribute a majority of my sales to in my research process. And that feature is going to help you answer that question that every new seller has, which is there room for me still on Etsy? So the goal for today is no overwhelm, no stress, and no guessing. I'm going to show you exactly how to be researching so you can build your shop up to get those first 100 sales. Now, as I said, as a quick reminder, this is going to be part 2 of a 4-part series. Last week, we covered the strategy. This week, we're covering research. Next week, we're going to be covering design and mockups. And in week 4, we'll talk about scaling and everything else that comes along with it. The first thing I want to start with today are a few mistakes that I see new sellers making when it comes to the research process. Number 1, they don't do research at all, which I know sounds silly, but honestly is true. And it was something that I struggled with at the beginning as well. So your rule of thumb should be never open Canva, never post a listing until you have followed through on the research process. Now, I know research can sound a little bit scary and overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Research is simply figuring out what do Etsy buyers want and how can you provide something a little bit different or unique that meets that customer where they are. Mistake number 2 is going to be chasing the perfect keyword score. This is probably one of the most common mistakes that I see with new sellers, and I was guilty of it as well. You may have been taught to chase these perfect keyword scores, right? The ones that have high search volume and low competition. And yes, there is definitely some value in that. And that can help train you to look for these opportunities in the market. But what I have found more than anything is that it really ends up limiting you in your ability to create products. There are so many products that I have had that have sold that if you looked at the keyword score, you would not be impressed. But they ended up selling because they met a specific buyer where they were in that moment. Remember our formula. And mistake number 3 that I see with new sellers is going to be focusing their research on what they want versus what customers actually want. So it's really important to strike a balance in your Etsy shop of finding things that you enjoy designing for or that you enjoy selling for. I always recommend starting with something that you know or you have familiarity with, and that is good practice. However, when it comes to our research and what we're looking for, we want to make sure we are looking at what buyers are actually purchasing, not necessarily what we would purchase ourselves. Because if we want to make this a sustainable business where we are actually making a profit, we have to remember that our buyers come first. And again, that's why my formula, the person plus moment formula, puts that person, that buyer, at the very forefront of your mind. Okay, so let's dive in to my research process using the person plus moment formula as kind of your structure for it to keep you focused, because having focus is very important so that you're not going in a million directions. I am also guilty of pretty much always having a squirrel brain. So I've really had to teach myself how to stay focused when I'm doing this research. Okay, so the first part of this process is going to be focusing on the person. Now, what is most helpful in this situation is remembering to get specific with that person. So let's say you have an interest in designing for moms. Moms is great, but moms are a very broad customer type, right? And it's going to be very hard to compete with a generic mom product. And so we need to get a little bit more specific with what that is. Is it a twins mom? Is it a sports mom? Maybe a football mom or a basketball mom? Is it a mom who has a daughter in dance? Is it a mom who likes to garden or play mahjong? So there's a lot of different things. So I want you to brainstorm not only who that person is, but what they might also be interested in. What is their identity? What is their relationship? What is their background, their hobbies, their careers? Think of all of those things because that right there is going to give you a lot to start researching from. So, then for part two in this process, we're going to be brainstorming some moments. So, let's say we are focused on moms and we've brainstormed a lot of different hobbies, careers, identities, etc. And now thinking about what are the moments that someone might be buying a gift for that said mom. Maybe it's birthdays, maybe it's retirement, maybe it's an end of season gift for the team mom, etc., etc. So brainstorming all of these different moments where there might be opportunity to give that gift to that person. Now, just a little note here that I want you to keep in mind. Keep all of this written down somewhere because this is going to come in handy when it comes time to create our title and our tags. Because when it comes to our SEO, all we are simply doing is taking these words, football mom, end of season mom gift, etc., and putting those into our title and tags so that it becomes very obvious who we are designing for. Now, step three in this process is going to be to validate your ideas. And this is going to be incredibly important because, yes, the brainstorming part of this is super important, but we also have to validate that people are shopping for that on Etsy. And we are going to be using my favorite research tool, Everbee, to do that. And I love it because it integrates directly right on the screen with the Everbee extension. And so it allows us to seamlessly search right on Etsy while being able to use the research tool at the same time. All right, so let's dive into actually how to do this process. Now, let's say one of the people that you brainstormed or customers that you brainstormed was teachers. Now, teachers is a great customer type to sell for on Etsy. They buy a lot on Etsy and it's a very profitable niche. But we're going to need to get a little bit more specific. So then again, let's say we brainstorm different types of teachers. Preschool teachers, Montessori teachers, middle school teachers, elementary school teachers, dance teachers, things like that. And we are going to use those as a jumping off point for our research. Now, if you're having a hard time brainstorming these things, here are a few pro tips that you can take. You can ask family and friends. Ask them, what hobbies do they do? What careers do they have? What interests do they have? Think about the people in your circle. The second thing you can use that's free to help brainstorm is also Chat GPT. So if you need help just kind of brainstorming some different categories, types, sub niches, then use your friend Chat GPT to help you generate some of those ideas for free. So, step two is going to be layering in the moments where someone might be buying something for a dance teacher or they might be buying for themselves. Now, thinking from your own experiences or the people that you know, or just using ChatGPT, some ideas could include dance recital gifts, or maybe an end of the school year gift if they have a dance class at school. Could also be a dance instructor buying employee appreciation gifts for their fellow dance teachers. It could be a dance competition gift for the dance teacher. And so there's a lot of different directions we can go here, but we want to write all of those down so that we have those in mind because, again, those are going to come in handy when it comes time to write our title and our tags, and we want to have those available to us. And what is going to be really helpful about this in brainstorming all these different moments where someone might be giving a gift to a dance teacher is that it's going to allow you to hit on a lot of different opportunities on Etsy with your keywords. So instead of just dance teacher gift, it's going to be dance teacher gift for a retiring dance teacher, or dance competition gift for coach, or a dance recital thank you gift for a dance teacher. So think about all the different keywords there that we have hit on rather than just leaving it as dance teacher gift. All right, so let's dig into Etsy right now, and I'm going to show you exactly how I use Everbee and how we want to be looking for this. So at this moment, I'm going to type in dance teacher gift. And right off the bat, I'm already feeling some encouragement because I can see a couple bestsellers right in the top line. One of which is a journal, which journals are one of my top 5 giftable print on demand products that I recommend. So that is very encouraging already. So we want to be looking for some of these initial clues. Are there bestsellers? Are there products that are selling for this person? So we can see here already that there is a couple bestsellers right off the bat. Now, what we want to do is just do an initial scroll to see kind of what is selling, what kinds of things are we seeing. And what I love so much about Everbee is that right on the screen here, you can see the estimated monthly sales and the listing age. So, for example, this one here is selling about 19 times a month. And that is very encouraging to me because remember, I'm not always looking for a home run or a grand slam. I'm looking for a collection of products that I can add in my shop that are steady sellers. And something like this is great. If I could sell something 20 times a month, I will take it, especially when it's a super simple design like this one. So at this point, we are scrolling and looking just for any ideas and getting that validation that there is demand here and that there is an appetite from Etsy buyers for this kind of gift. Now, we can see here another journal. This is a choreography journal, and that's something I hadn't brainstormed yet. And so as you see these ideas, I want you to be adding them to your notes. So we had dance teacher recital gift, dance teacher retirement gift, but I hadn't thought of a choreography journal for a dance teacher. So that is something then you could add to your list, which then you could also then use in your keywords. I'm also looking for anything interesting that stands out. So for example, this is a tap dance teacher gift. Now we had narrowed down to dance teacher, but wow, I hadn't thought about narrowing down to the type of dance. So again, that might be something that we want to include in our notes so that when it comes time to design next week, when we do our design, we can think about which of these avenues we want to follow. So we have kind of validated just looking on this first search page on Etsy that there is definitely demand from Etsy buyers for dance teacher gifts. We've also been able to generate a few other ideas, like possibly specific types of dance teachers or choreography journals seems to be something where there is some interest. And before I show you the one Everbee feature that I swear by, I want to remind you to catch this week's Coffee and Cha-chings. And I'm going to be breaking down with you, is it really still possible for new shops to make sales on Etsy with print on demand? Hear all the time that it's too saturated, but I want to talk through that myth with you and show you why I believe it's not. All right, so I mentioned at the beginning of this video that if you stuck around to the end, I was going to show you the one feature on Everbee that I swear by and use all the time when it comes to my research. So when you are on Etsy, you want to use the Everbee extension, which is going to allow you to be able to see all this information directly on Etsy without having to go to another tab or go to another website. And my favorite feature is going to be under the product analytics tool. And when you click on product analytics, it's going to bring up this graph and it's going to show you all of the products that we were just looking at, but in more of a chart format, which makes it really easy to see the numbers without having to look at each individual listing. Now, what is the one feature within product analytics that is most important to me? And that is shop age. Now, let me explain this for a second. Shop age is the most important stat to me outside of sales because it shows me where there is room for new shops to make sales. It is hard to compare a shop that has thousands and thousands of sales to a shop that has been open for 6 months. Though those are really comparing apples and oranges. And so if you are a new shop, it is very helpful to look for listings from shops that are under a year old. Because what is that telling us? It's telling us that there is room at the table for you. So how do we look for this? Using the product analytics tool, you can scroll over to the side here and you can sort by shop age. Now, I want to sort it by youngest shop to oldest shop. And we can see here right off the bat that there's quite a few shops that are under a year old. But of course, we want to see what kind of sales they have as well. And what's interesting is one of the choreography notebooks that we were looking at is from a shop that's only 6 months old. They are selling that roughly 28 times a month, and they've had over 150 sales on this one journal. And something that is really helpful for us to do is look at some of the keywords that they're using. Now, again, we had pulled choreography journal from that research we were doing. If you click into the listing on Everbee and scroll down to their tags, you'll be able to see some of the keywords that they're using and be able to figure out what might be working for them. They have some of the keywords that we had already talked about: dance competition, dance instructor, dance studio gifts. And there's some others that we hadn't thought about. Musical theater gift, because there are dance teachers within musical theater, choreographed notebook. And so these are going to be things we want to write down. And then we can use that in our title and in our tags, because we want to make sure we're hitting on each of these areas so that we are casting a wide net, but that's still focused on our dance teacher person in the formula. And then I can also see here that there's an ornament that has been selling consistently from a shop that's under a year old. I can also see a dance teacher t-shirt that is selling. And so I am feeling pretty good that there would be some room in the market for me to be able to make some sales in this space. All right, so just to recap, we are focusing our research on this person plus moment formula. And we are first starting with the exact person we potentially want to design for. We are then layering in all these different potential moments where someone might be giving this gift. And then lastly, we are validating that using a tool like Everbee on Etsy to make sure that there is, number one, demand for that product, and also number two, that there's potentially room for us at the table. Once I started using this process for my research, that is when things truly changed for me. And it wasn't necessarily that my sales started skyrocketing the next day, but it gave me clarity when I sat down at my computer to work on my Etsy shop. I didn't feel like a wandering puppy anymore. I felt like I actually had a plan, and I felt like I actually had some direction on where I wanted to go next. Because without a clear strategy when it comes to doing this research, it can feel like you are just going in a million different directions and really not getting anywhere. And again, it is incredibly important that before you ever open Canva or any design tool, that you have done this research, because in next week's video, which is going to be part 3 of the How to Get Your First 100 Sales on Etsy series, I'm going to be diving into the design portion, and we are going to be using this research that we did today to inform our simple giftable design for next week. And the best part is, when it comes to these giftable products, I am a huge fan of keeping it simple with our designs. No Photoshop, no stress, no overwhelm. We're going to be keeping it simple, but we are going to be making data-based decisions based on the research we did today. And also, if you feel like you might need some support implementing this person plus moment formula in your Etsy shop, I would love to invite you to join us in the Gift Lab community. This is a hands-on community full of super supportive and positive members who are really lifting each other up as they're on their own print-on-demand journeys. Every week, I'm bringing tips, trends, tools, live coaching calls, audits, and so much more to help you start, grow, and scale your own Etsy print-on-demand shop. And don't forget to tune in next week for part 3 of this series, and I look forward to seeing you there.